Hey, what's up, Guardians? TBL here, coming back on another wonderful Xursday morning to detail the items in the inventory of the Agent of the Nine. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing a lot more than just talking about Xur in this video because we have a lot to talk about. Even Xur himself has brought some pretty good stuff this time around. But we have got some exciting new potential news to discuss in this video, which we'll be doing after we check Xur's inventory. And hold on, check this guy out, looking just like me back here. I found myself a fellow New Monarchy man out here. Yeah, look at him. He's got the helmet, he's got the gauntlets, and he's got the chest piece on with the shader and the emblem. My man, that's right. I'm rocking pretty much the same thing. Gotta get the rest of the Spectre gear though so I can chroma it all up. But anyways, we are covering Xur's details, starting off with where you can find the Agent of the Nine shop this week. And as you'll see here, Xur is located once again in Tower North. He'll be located on the balcony in the far end to the immediate right of the speaker. Once you spawn into the tower, just take the path that I'm taking here and you'll find the big man in no time. Alright then, Xur, I've been hearing some good things. Let's see what you've got this week. And after our first glance, we've got some serious Year 1 classics in here, and that's definitely a good thing. But as usual, we will be covering everything that Xur's got in his inventory, starting off with the weapons and armor that he's got for sale. And first up for Titans, Xur is offering the Glasshouse Exotic Titan Helmet. This thing's coming with a pure intellect stat roll of 79, and its special ability allows your Blessing and Weapons of Light ability on you Defender Titan bubbles to last even longer. It's definitely a clutch perk for in-game PvE. And for objective-based PvP, it's definitely a great helmet and you should pick it up if you haven't gotten one already. Alright, next up for hunters, Xur is offering the Khepri Sting Exotic Hunter Gauntlets. Now these things have seen a bit of a revamp since Year 1. They're coming with a base strength build of 68 and their special ability allows you to turn invisible while crouching regardless of what hunter class you're playing. Also, while invisible, your melee attacks from behind will deal 4 times normal damage and melee attacks will now cause lingering damage. That's right, damage over time from your melee. It's definitely an interesting ability that I could see having a lot of utility in Year 2 PvE. I can't wait to get around to playing with it. It's almost like having an automatic backstab for all of your classes. Alright, moving on for Warlocks, Xur is offering the Sunbreaker's Exotic Warlock Gauntlets. Now these things are very special because of the roll on them. The base roll that Xur is selling here is capable of reaching 98% Intellect Discipline, which means these are perfect for you guys out there who are trying to make Tier 12 Warlock builds. They've essentially got max or near max stats, so definitely pick them up. They are Intellect Discipline starting at 45 and 45 evenly between the two of them, and their special ability increases the duration of your solar grenades while also granting you an additional solar grenade charge. This means you Sunsingers out there can run them with Angel of Light or, more importantly, Touch of Flame, and still get the benefit of having 2 grenades that now last even longer. Definitely pick these things up if you are a Warlock out there. They are absolutely worth your time. Infuse these bad boys up to 335 and just watch the stats roll in. Alright, moving on to the weapon that Xur's got for sale this week. This time around, he is offering the Year 1 classic, the Universal Remote. This fantastic shotgun is just so much fun to play with. It's one of my favorite guns from Destiny Year 1, and it is back in force in Year 2. Now, much like the No Land Beyond, this is actually a primary weapon, and its special abilities include a mix of crowd control, extra range with Hammerforge, and its special ability, Universal Remote, where range and precision damage increase greatly whenever you ADS. So every time you aim down the sights, it supercharges this gun's range and the precision damage, resulting in some pretty funny one-shot kills. If you're looking to reminisce about Year 1 shotguns that could kill at almost sniper ranges, well, the Universal Remote might be your gun. Alright, for the Legacy Engram, we've got a Legacy Exotic Chest Piece, which you can purchase and redeem at the Cryptarch for a chance at any Year 1 Exotic Chest Piece in the game. Alright, moving on to the Strange Curios. For Sparrow Upgrade Drives, we've got the Emerald Coil as well as the Void Drive. Of course, Heavy Ammo Synth, 3 for 1 Strange Coin. 3 of Coins, 5 for 7 Strange Coins. And of course, Glass Needles, which you can get for 3 Strange Coins, 3 Motes of Light, and 1 Exotic Shard. Finally, Xur is offering the Material Exchange, of course, where you can trade in 2 Strange Coins for 1 Mote of Light. And that's pretty much it for Xur's inventory here. Again, a decent inventory this time around. Universal Remote is a fun weapon. I would recommend it to everyone out there, especially in Crucible. You're going to love the thing. The Sunbreakers, I cannot stress enough how much you should pick these up unless you've already, of course, got a Tier 12 build for your Warlock that you don't really want to mess with. But the Sunbreakers are basically perfect. It's actually kind of ironically hilarious. We used to all complain about how often Xur sold Sunbreakers back in Year 1, and now he's selling a pair that basically everyone should get. But anyways, that's Xur's inventory. Be sure to let me know what you picked up from the Agent of the Nine in the comment section below. But we're not done here. We have got a lot to talk about in terms of Destiny news. Have you guys been paying attention to the threads, watching for the signals, tuning into the frequencies? Man, the signs are out there. They're all around us. And oh man, I do feel like an alien conspiracy theorist because I'm feeling the hype train for the new Destiny expansion. We may have got, I'm not even going to call it a leak because it's way too well organized to be a leak, but we may have gotten our first look at the new Destiny expansion yesterday via the Destiny the Game subreddit, or at least that's the first place I saw it. Now, what is it TBL's talking about here? Well, yesterday we got a thread claiming to have kind of a poster picture of the new expansion. I guess it was shared on Snapchat between some people and somehow got out. And I'm going to post that picture right here. It seems to show off a picture of Lord Saladin standing in front of the Cosmodrome wall, accompanied by a pack of wolves with the title, Destiny, Rise of Iron. Sounds awesome, right? Well, this picture very quickly made the circulations around the community and even wound up getting Kotaku's Jason Schreier, who's like, I guess, Kotaku's official Destiny guy. He seems to be the one who breaks all of the stories with Destiny. But it certainly caught his attention, and he has stated that according to his sources, the poster is legit. Destiny's next expansion may just be titled Destiny Rise of Iron, which again is an awesome name. And along with that, we got a little bit more news out of Kotaku that states, and I quote, "Two sources familiar with Bungie confirmed the authenticity of this poster to Kotaku last night. The Rise of Iron expansion will feature a new raid and will be larger than the two Year 1 DLC packs, those being the Dark Below and House of Wolves, according to a source. Of course, as the Taken King showed us, the amount and scale of content in a Destiny expansion can vary wildly, and it may not be fair to compare this to previous DLC, which, of course, I agree with. That's actually a really good point. You can't really compare, like, the Dark Below or House of Wolves to the Taken King. The Taken King was much larger than either of those, so it's good to hear that this new expansion, the Rise of Iron, is going to be bigger than both the House of Wolves and the Dark Below. Now, additionally, Schreier also talked a bit about the new raid, saying that it'll center around Fallen, but with a twist. And that development of this raid actually started last summer, and that has really got the community theory box going into overdrive here. And I gotta admit, it feels pretty good. This is really interesting timing because this leak came out basically on the same day that House of Wolves launched last year. Kind of an interesting coincidence there, don't you think? Now, of course, we don't know too much about this, but we will probably be seeing more of this expansion at E3. As a matter of fact, I can almost guarantee that we will, which is E3 is just a little under a month away now. We know that Activision is going to be having a big show during the Sony press conference, and that's really where I'd expect to see more from Bungie and what they have in store for us in the world of Destiny. But we do have some speculation here. Even old TBL has himself a few ideas. Now, judging by the fact that it's being reported that the next raid will be Fallen themed, which I know a lot of people wanted a Cabal themed raid, but I'm perfectly happy with a Fallen one. Remember, we had one cut from the House of Wolves last year, so I think it'd be interesting to see a Fallen raid with a twist, as it were. Personally, I think it might have something to do with the Battle of Twilight Gap. After all, we know Lord Saladin was basically the tower's commander-in-chief back during that battle. He was the one in charge of the Vanguard and all of the Guardians as a whole. And judging by the fact that he's on the front cover wielding what looks to be a flaming battle axe, probably the coolest looking thing we've seen for a while in this game. But based on the fact that Lord Saladin is prominently featured on the poster, and we know that the Fallen are the ones who attacked us during the Battle of Twilight Gap, it was all of the Fallen houses coming together to make a strike against the city in a bid to take back the Traveler. And we know that the raid is apparently going to be Fallen themed. I'm thinking we might be going back in time, maybe via the help of the Exo Stranger, to face down the united Fallen houses in the Battle of Twilight Gap. Could you imagine that? That's what the raid is? We go back in time to the Battle of Twilight Gap with the 9 Iron Lords, Lord Saladin, Lord Shaxx, Lord Zavala, and you as your Guardian and your fire team of Guardian friends assist in the great fight, the great battle, that war, and wind up taking down the Fallen leaders and stopping their approach into Twilight Gap. Could you imagine that being the raid? That would be incredible. Then at the end you get yourself a Year 2 Yallarhorn, because we know that the Yallarhorn was made from the armors of the Warlocks and the Titans and the Hunters who fell during Twilight Gap. Oh man, I'm getting myself all worked up into a hype tizzy here. But yeah, could you imagine that being the Fallen raid, just Twilight Gap? Or maybe it's a new battle of Twilight Gap. Maybe the Fallen House is like the House of Kings, which we haven't really dealt too much with. Maybe they're working themselves together, building themselves up, and trying to make another strike at the city. There are tons of possibilities here, and while everything right now is speculative, it's all just basic hype building. I'm really excited to see what they've got in store. I mean, this expansion isn't really slated to come out. It's expected to come out sometime in September, so we've got a lot of time to go between now and then. But thankfully, we should be getting our first bits of news about this in the coming weeks. Again, E3 is less than a month away, and I am so excited. I cannot wait to see just what they're going to have in store for us. It's going to be a great time, and hopefully we'll be getting not just a look at the new expansion, but maybe any new summer events that are going to be coming up. Maybe something like a revamped Sparrow Racing League. You know, since it's been quite a while since we last had one of those. And because, you know, it would be something nice to tide us over in between the dry summer period of not having much to do before the expansion comes out. Now, the last little bit of information we got about the raid was something that I found really interesting. Apparently, like I said before in the video, development on this raid started last summer after the release of House of Wolves, and at one point Bungie planned to launch it in April, or at the very least sometime earlier this year, but those plans wound up being changed after the start of 2016. And I really thought that was interesting. If that change was made in that short of a time frame, it really might explain why we had such an unexpected dry period from basically December until April. I mean, I've said it before, it really felt like there was supposed to be some sort of content release in that time period, or at the very least a build-up to a content release. And you know, of course, we did get the April Spring update eventually, which has been great. I've absolutely loved the changes that the April Spring update has made. But that long stretch of months before it came out was absolutely brutal. And if we were supposed to be getting this Fallen-themed raid back in April, then we would have been getting a build-up, a ride-along, something to show off in those months at the beginning of this year, and it probably would have made that time period a lot more bearable. But again, if this reporting is accurate, and the decision to push back this raid until the next expansion was made at the start of 2016, it might go to explain why we had such unexpected silence from Bungie for such a long period of time. And of course, while I'm sad that we didn't get the raid earlier, again, if this reporting is accurate and we were supposed to get it back in April, I am definitely starting to feel the Bungie hype train starting back up. And here we are, out in the Cosmodrome, looking at the great wall that protects the city. These, Guardian, are the remnants of the Battle of Twilight Gap. And judging from the way things are looking, we might be getting a lot more acquainted with more of the Cosmodrome and maybe even some more of Earth. European Dead Zone, please, can we go to Chicago, please? But we'll find out very, very soon. But alright guys, be sure to let me know what you think of all of this news surrounding Destiny Rise of Iron in the comment section below. And thanks so much for watching. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.